like unfairly, like in her games and stuff like that?
I think it's definitely like star players aren't ever treated fairly.
Candace Parker, the three-time WNBA champion and absolute legend of the game, just dropped some truth bombs about Caitlin Clark's treatment in the league. And honestly, it's about time someone with that kind of credibility stepped into this heated debate. When TMZ caught up with Parker recently, they asked her the question that's been burning on everyone's minds. Is Caitlin Clark being treated unfairly in the WNBA?
Second year, she's already broken a record for most 25-point 10 assist games. In her second year, she holds that record. But what's being done to her right now is an absolute shame. She is by far the most important, most popular person the WNBA has ever seen in its history. And yet she's getting treated like crap every time she steps on that floor.
Parker's response? A mic drop moment that cuts straight to the heart of professional basketball reality. Star players aren't ever treated fairly, she said. And just like that, she summed up what veterans have been trying to tell everyone all along. But let's dive into why this statement is so significant and what it means for the ongoing circus surrounding Clark's WNBA journey.
Well, Candace Parker has been kind of caught in a little bit of controversy. Because TMZ pulled up on her. Candace Parker had TMZ pulling up on her today. And that's when the WNBA made it. When TMZ is just randomly pulling up.
First, let's talk about the timing of these comments. Parker made these remarks right as the basketball world was reeling from devastating news. Caitlin Clark, the player who literally hasn't missed a game since she was a sophomore in high school back in 2017, is now sidelined with a left quadriceps strain. The Indiana Fever announced that their superstar will be out for at least 2 weeks, marking the first time in her collegiate and professional career that she'll miss games due to injury. This is the same player who appeared in all 139 games at Iowa and all 44 regular season games in her rookie WNBA season. Talk about durability being put to the test.
Caitlin Clark to miss at least 2 weeks with a suffered left quad strain. A minimum, folks, keyword here, minimum of 2 weeks. That's when they're saying she's going to be reevaluated to see if she can go in a minimum of 2 weeks.
When Parker was asked specifically about Clark tying her career triple-double record so early in her career, the veteran showed nothing but class and admiration. It's awesome. It's great. I think she has so many more years to come of greatness. So it's been good watching her play, Parker told the reporters. And honestly, that's the kind of response you'd expect from someone who truly understands what greatness looks like. Parker isn't threatened by Clark's success. She's celebrating it.
I wanted to ask about Caitlin Clark. She just tied with you on your career triple doubles. I mean, how do you feel having her match you so early in her career?
It's awesome. It's great. I think she has so many more years to come of greatness. So it's been good watching her play.
But here's where things get really interesting. The debate about Clark's treatment isn't just some made-up controversy by overzealous fans. We're talking about legitimate concerns that have been brewing since her rookie season. The physicality she faces on the court has been unprecedented for a rookie, and multiple incidents have sparked conversations about whether opposing players are crossing the line from competitive basketball into something more personal.
Will this be the wake-up call the WNBA needs? Caitlin Clark is out for at least 2 weeks. Now, we are going to see what you guys, not just the Indiana Fever, we're going to see what type of numbers this league can turn over without her.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. Remember the Kennedy Carter incident? The one where Carter shoulder checked Clark from behind, sending her sprawling to the floor? Initially called a common foul, the league later upgraded it to a flagrant foul and fined Carter $1,000, 0 cents. But Carter's response showed no remorse. At the end of the day, it's all love outside of basketball. When we're in those 4 lines, it's smoke. After, it's all love. And that's the kind of treatment that has fans and analysts questioning whether there's something deeper going on here. Even legendary UConn coach Gino Auriemma weighed in. Michael Jordan was never treated like this, he said, directly stating that Clark is being targeted. Coming from someone with Auriemma's basketball credibility, that's not a statement to be taken lightly. He's seen decades of elite players, and for him to say that Clark's treatment is unusual speaks volumes about what she's actually facing on the court.
It's unbelievable that the WNBA just refuses to take this W. They refuse to take the win that is Caitlin Clark. They are putting every landmine in front of them. Players and members of teams are calling entire fan bases racist. Brittany Griner, when asked about new fans of the game and more eyeballs on television to the product and everything else, says, "Oh yeah, I don't want the new racist fans. All these racists that are in the league that like Caitlin Clark. I don't like what's going on. I certainly don't like that. I don't want them." I mean, just take the W. It's going to mean more money for everybody. All the good players in the WNBA are going to make more money.
But here's where Parker's perspective becomes invaluable. She's been through this herself. Back in 2008, during her rookie season, Parker had her own welcome to the W moment that turned into a full-blown brawl at the Palace of Auburn Hills. The physicality, the targeting, the extra attention, Parker lived through all of it. So when she says star players aren't ever treated fairly, she's speaking from experience, not just offering platitudes. However, not everyone sees it the same way. Rebecca Lobo, another WNBA legend and current ESPN analyst, has pushed back against the narrative that Clark is being unfairly targeted. Lobo argues that what Clark faces is simply the reality of being an elite player in a competitive league. Those of us who have been in this game a long time and watching it know it's not true, Lobo said about the targeting narrative. She emphasizes that the physicality Clark deals with has been a staple of the WNBA for years, but even Lobo admits that Clark faces some unique challenges. She's never seen a rookie get picked up 94 feet from the basket without the ball or face guarded 35 feet away when standing on the opposite side of the floor. That level of defensive pressure is intense, even by WNBA standards.
Like, why is this happening? The Caitlin Clark phenomenon is one that I got wrong. I never really thought that Caitlin Clark would make the difference that she has in college basketball or in the WNBA. What other sports analogies are out there that are in any way similar to the impact that one individual has had on a larger sporting universe?
Caitlin Clark's arrival in the WNBA has transcended traditional narratives about race and privilege, instead cementing her status as the most consequential figure in the league's 28-year history. While discussions about representation and visibility in women's sports remain critical, Clark's unprecedented impact has redefined what it means to be a generational talent, uniting fans across demographics and propelling the WNBA into a new era of mainstream relevance. Her ability to blend elite skill with magnetic charisma has made her not just a basketball phenom, but a cultural force, one whose influence dwarfs any previous comparisons or debates about racial dynamics. Clark's dominance has reframed conversations about greatness in the WNBA. When she tied Candace Parker's career triple-double record in just her 44th professional game, it wasn't merely a statistical milestone. It was a declaration that Clark operates on a tier beyond conventional categorization. Analysts have drawn parallels to Larry Bird's transformative effect on the NBA in the 1980s. But even that comparison falls short. Bird entered a mature league. Clark is single-handedly expanding the WNBA's economic and cultural footprint, driving $875 million, 0 cents, in projected economic impact for 2025 alone. Ticket sales for Fever games now rival NBA prices, while merchandise featuring her name accounts for 26% of all WNBA revenue, a figure unmatched by any athlete in league history.
Nationally, I mean, CBS or ABC Games / ESPN, one was 2.4 million, the other was 2.22 million. Caitlin Clark's landing some massive television ratings. And this is what is really impressive. The game peaked at 3.24 million viewers, became the 6th most watched WNBA regular season or playoff game since 2001. Think about that. The 6th highest rated game in 24 years.
Now, with Clark sidelined due to injury, the WNBA faces what many are calling a litmus test. As one analyst put it on the Pat McAfee show, this will be the litmus test for the WNBA. If the ratings aren't the same because she's not playing, then it's a pretty clear indication she is the needle mover. The Indiana Fever have already felt the impact. Their first game without Clark resulted in an 83-77 loss to the Washington Mystics, a team that had been on a 3-game losing streak. The injury couldn't have come at a worse time for Clark personally. She was averaging 19 points and a league-best 9.3 assists through 4 games this season. She had tied Candace Parker's career triple-double record and was on pace for what many believed could be an MVP-caliber season. The fact that this injury occurred during a controversial final possession against the New York Liberty, where Natasha Cloud stripped the ball from Clark in what many thought should have been called a foul, only adds to the frustration. Cloud herself explained her defensive strategy in that final play. "I knew they were obviously going to go to Caitlin. I knew she was going to go left, so as soon as she brought that ball up, I just poked it out." It was smart, veteran defense, but it also highlighted the intense focus and physicality that Clark faces every single possession.
Tasha Cloud body fouled Caitlin, rammed her, then hacked her across the wrist, then hit her arm as she attempted to get the shot up. No call. Loose ball. Turnover. Game over. What? No call? I mean, Caitlin Clark has at least earned that call at home in that moment. Not only was she obviously Rookie of the Year last year, but she made first team All WNBA last year in her rookie year. First team. Top 5.
What makes Parker's comments so significant is that they come from someone who has walked this exact path. She knows what it's like to be the face of the league, to have every move scrutinized, and to face the physical and mental challenges that come with superstar status. When she says everybody has a different path, she's acknowledging that while the experiences may vary, the core challenge remains the same. The broader conversation about Clark's treatment also reflects the growing pains of a league experiencing unprecedented growth. The WNBA has never had a player quite like Clark, someone who brings massive college following, breaks attendance records, and generates mainstream media attention on a regular basis. With that spotlight comes scrutiny, both positive and negative. Breanna Stewart, the New York Liberty star and reigning WNBA MVP, has shown support for Clark while also maintaining perspective about the league's growth. "I think it's amazing. The momentum behind women's basketball. We're not talking about momentum anymore. We're talking about sustaining," Stewart said. She recognizes that Clark's impact goes beyond individual success. It's about elevating the entire sport.
Caitlin Clark is driving the WNBA insane. It's to the point that she may need to step away from the WNBA, have a billionaire come in that has the money to prove a point, and say, "Caitlin, I'll pay you $50 million just to see if the WNBA can make it without you. Let's go create a complete different league and expose the hell out of the WNBA just to embarrass this Angel Reese girl that Jameel Hill just said she could go down as a Michael Jordan of WNBA."
Yeah.
And what
The injury timeline means Clark will miss crucial games, including a potential rivalry matchup against the Chicago Sky on June 7. For a player who had never missed a game due to injury in her collegiate or professional career, this forced absence represents uncharted territory. Head coach Stephanie White tried to find a silver lining, saying, "This presents a great chance for our team to establish its identity. It's also a valuable opportunity for Caitlin to observe the game from the sidelines. But let's be honest, losing your superstar player is never a good thing, no matter how you spin it." The Fever had built their entire system around Clark's unique skill set, and now they have to figure out how to compete without their primary playmaker and biggest drawing card. What Parker's comments ultimately reveal is that the conversation about Clark's treatment shouldn't be about whether she deserves special protection. It should be about recognizing that elite players have always faced extra challenges. Michael Jordan dealt with the Jordan rules from the Detroit Pistons. Kobe Bryant faced intense physicality throughout his career. LeBron James has been scrutinized and targeted for nearly 2 decades. The difference with Clark is that she's operating in a league that's still finding its footing in terms of mainstream recognition and media coverage. Every incident gets magnified, every comment gets dissected, and every game becomes a referendum on larger social and cultural issues.
WNBA, this is what happened with the WNBA. It's been ignored for so long. A subculture developed, a counterculture developed, where all these little things that they do seem normal, but it's really not, and not acceptable. We need more professionalism, a higher standard when it comes to the game, and accountability and consistency. We need that in the WNBA because it makes the WNBA a little bit more marketable. You want likable players. You want players to be excited to go to the games for, not be like, I don't want to see that.
As Clark works through her recovery and prepares to return to the court, Parker's words serve as both validation and a roadmap. Yes, star players face unfair treatment. That's part of the territory. But it's also part of what makes their eventual success so meaningful. When Clark does return, she'll have learned something valuable about navigating adversity, just as Parker did during her own legendary career. The WNBA's growth depends on having these conversations honestly and openly. Parker's willingness to speak candidly about the realities of superstar treatment helps provide context for newer fans who might not understand the league's culture and competitive intensity. At the same time, it validates the concerns of those who believe Clark faces unique challenges. In the end, Candace Parker provided the kind of measured, experienced perspective that only comes from someone who has been through the fire herself. Her message is clear. This is what greatness looks like in professional basketball, and Caitlin Clark is just getting started on what promises to be an incredible journey, bumps and bruises included.